Welcome, everyone, to our Power Rejuvenating Your Amazing Mind training for Wednesday. It is December 10th, 2025, and this is our 7:30 a.m. edition. I'm your moderator, Stanley Green. So happy to be with you, and I didn't get a chance to shout out a few of the folks who are in the room, and we'll do more of that before we close out. I see Mary Bell and Carla Hill and Claudia Nesbitt. Cindy Holmes, our newest Power Thinking app user. And she went right to work helping us, to identify some things that, again, we continue to fine tune. Joe Reddish, good to see you from Rhode Island. Haven't seen you in a while. George Clark, great to see you. Charisse, Bruno, and Returner. Laura Fitz, Dr. Ekman, good to see you at the game, Dr. Ekman, the other day. Peggy Kowalski, good to see you, my Penn classmate. Layla Llewellyn, Greg Jones, James Toss, Leslie Flowers, others. We'll get to you afterwards. Thank you so much for being with us. And we're getting you that opportunity to hit *6 as an exciting time of may have been lost temporarily. Okay, that went away. There are folks who may be a little down and may feel, very stressed. And it happens every year, never fails. So the question is, what do you do to reduce stress? We have a poll question and feel free, by the way, if you're on LinkedIn, to write it in the chat. Um, and hit *6 if you'd like to articulate it and share with us. So love to get your thoughts about what you do to reduce stress. What did you think about the video, the 10 points that were shared, 10 different things that we can do? Do you practice any of them during the holidays? Did any resonate with you? Certainly hit that *6 or communicate via LinkedIn. Now, at this time, I want to introduce a special guest. We've had a number of our members who have stepped up to become special guests, and Eni Osum, who's a marketing expert guru, is from the UK, joins us, and one of our Power Thinking app users. You can communicate with him directly on the app through my chat and leave a message. And folks, we want you to check that app and my chat from time to time, because people are leaving some really great information about what they do and how they can be helpful to you. So Eni Osum from the UK, thank you very much for joining us, and really appreciate you being here.
So it's always a joy to join you. So it's always a joy to get to speak on your show, especially.
Thank you so
So
much.
I do many shows, but I don't tend to speak in other people's shows.
Well, talk about that, Eddie. How many events do you have each week on LinkedIn?
Ah, it varies. So I've got this weird 2-week diary. So it's rolling 2-week diary of events, simply because I couldn't get all my events into 1 week. So this week I've got a number of events, and so I did two on Monday, 2 yesterday. I'm doing this now, Power Thinking today. So I've got one event tomorrow, Thursday. I've got 2 events on Friday. On some days, I literally have to have 3 or 4 events, literally back to back. They're exhausting days.
Yeah.
No, but they're not about me half the time. Now, they're mostly about my friends and the amazing things they're doing. So I feel like I just turn up. Well, of course, I have to organize the event, set it up. Then I also have to make sure there's people there, inviting guests, or inviting attendees. But most of the time, I just turn up to have fun. Now, my co-host is this expert on the topic, so I can just relax and just talk.
Great.
It's a joy.
Excellent. So, tell us about the UK and what happens this time of year? It's December. It's end of the year. Uh, what is the UK like, and what are the things that folks are talking about and focusing on?
That's it. Christmas is our big thing. So I
Hmm.
know in the US you have your Thanksgiving. That sounds like the US big thing. Christmas is our Thanksgiving. It's everything is on Christmas. And
Right, yeah, because you don't have a Thanksgiving at all, right?
no, no. I think we should. Maybe we ought to, right? I'm not sure. No, we ought to have Thanksgiving. I guess we seem to think it's a commercial thing. We've never had it, so we just don't know what Thanksgiving is. But I think when now I better understand that it's what it says. It's a day to give thanks, right?
Right.
Period to give thanks, right? And I think we all ought to give thanks. I'd probably call it Gratitude Day here.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think with gratitude, being grateful and having gratitude in your heart is fundamental
Hmm.
because it changes your feeling completely.
Sure.
So, but I say, when it comes to Christmas, and I say we just wait for that big day. We are all excited. My neighbors have lights up, and neighbors there's lights brightening. My wife says they're polluting the streets every day, every night.
Hmm.
And if you go to the shopping malls now, there's Christmas music everywhere. People we get happier.
Ah.
Of course, we do what everyone else does now. We lavish people with gifts.
Hmm.
And when we wait for that turkey meal on Christmas Day, everything is literally now. When you say what's a country like, it feels like we are on the apprehension street, where we just like, come on, Christmas, come on, Christmas. Then we can let it all out.
Uh-huh.
But it's only a day, Sister. It's only a day, right? It's a day in our lives.
Right.
So I was maintain that perspective. Let's not put everything into that one day, because
Hmm.
there's other days to come, right? Boxing Day's coming. I say we'll celebrate Boxing Day because that's another holiday on our
Hmm.
calendar. And I guess New Year, so it's another big one that's coming, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
why put everything into the 25th?
Right.
You know,
Right.
but
It's a
we,
good point. It's a good point. And then that day, the day in the middle of the day, you go, okay, all right, all of this buildup for weeks and weeks and weeks, and folks open their gifts, and it's now just another day. There's
yes,
that feeling. So,
it really is that. I was talking about this yesterday on one of my shows with Lisa Fevek on your metamorphosis.
hmm.
And look, I say I don't. As much as I like Christmas, you know, I think people put so much into the day that they end up being disappointed. Not they're disappointed with themselves, with their relatives, with their friends. When the day comes.
Hmm. Hmm.
I say just take the stress out of it. So it's only one day. There's no point. Say the one thing we do here, in case no one knows, people love to argue on Christmas Day. Uncle Jim wants to argue with Uncle Frank. And then they all want to argue with Grandma. He's like, why are you arguing? I said they were celebrating. Well, I didn't get the presents I wanted. Now someone stole it. Someone took more turkey than me. So
Uh-huh.
what? No, there's still more turkey out there. Go and get some.
Right.
There's no point, just saving the stress for this big day. A lot of people will tell you they don't see each other all year round. I
Hmm.
say, go and see each other then. Don't wait for all your stresses to come out on Christmas Day. There's just it's foolhardy. There's just no. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me at all. At all.
Well, let's get some of the comments here on LinkedIn, and then we'll go to our phone lines. We have Carla Hill waiting. Anyone else? Hit that star 6. What are your thoughts about holiday stress? Should we do things differently? How about the video where they talked um, about 10 things that we can do to reduce holiday stress? Hit that star 6. And what do you do? And folks on the comments, what do you do to reduce holiday stress? Leslie Flowers mentioned, I was just on her program the other day as we were talking about one of the thinking traps, jumping to conclusions. And it, Guy Fawkes Day,
Yeah, yeah,
what is that? What is
yeah.
that?
That's fireworks day.
Oh, okay.
So we have Halloween when
Oh,
all the zombies come out. Well, my wife is big on Halloween. That's her Christmas, really. So she decorates the neighborhood literally.
hmm.
There's like kids come to our house because she has such a big show. And
Hmm.
there's Guy Fawkes, which is a fireworks day, the day Guy Fawkes tried to take over Parliament. So
Ah,
you know what's going to be happening. There's people are doing letting the fireworks here and there, and we have firework parties.
hmm. Hmm.
That's all in November.
Ah,
You
that's
know,
November. Got
yeah,
it.
it leads to Christmas in December.
Right, right, right. Great. Well, let's do this. Let's get your thoughts, folks. What do you think about this time of year, and what do you do to reduce stress, or is it stress free for you? Love to get your thoughts. We got a lot of thoughts here on LinkedIn. We'll go with Carla Hill. Carla, thanks for joining us. Mention where you're joining us from, and your thoughts about the holiday season and stress. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Stan. Calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and shout out to your guests. And I love numbered types of content. 10 things, and I can write down the 10 things. And I'm happy to say most of them I'm practicing. The 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight. I just started that 2 weeks ago to increase my vitamin D exposure,
Hmm.
increase that vitamin D exposure because I have a deficiency. And I said, oh, I can combine it with walking 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that habit because if I go out too late, the sun is down or if it's cloudy, but that's okay. It's
Hmm.
making that intention. So I
Hmm.
agree with that. I don't use the citrus scent um, candles, but I think that's a good idea. Walking, she said 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Learn to say no as I've gotten older and get more clarity of what I really want. It is easier for me to say no to things that don't go into there. Um, Laughing. Just this week, my husband and I'm like, okay, what sitcoms do we like? Both of us like that we can watch even for 15, 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Um, One way that I've implemented in the past couple of years is intentional quiet time for 30 minutes a
Hmm.
day. That does help me. I see the difference. And when I
Hmm.
say quiet time, nothing, but it gives me so, meaning I'm not listening to music. I don't have my phone. It's sitting for 30 minutes uninterrupted. If I can't do 30, I'll do 15, I'll do 5. But I don't do it every day. I notice when I don't do it, but it's amazing when I get up, I have such clarity for what I want to do for the day.
Hmm.
She said, change from sugar to honey. I don't have any sugar in the past 4 years over my weight release.
Hmm.
Um, and but from fruit and just natural sugar.
Hmm.
I've implemented listening to music at least 15 minutes a day from my music playlist. And
Hmm.
now it's speaking of holidays, I play holiday music because I can only play it for that month.
Right.
So I have a list that I created in 2021 that I really, really love it.
Hmm.
And being part of power thinking, the positive things. What am I grateful for? 3 good things that have happened today. And then I tend to vet the content that you provide through the awareness skills. So
Yes.
putting it in perspective. This I've mixed feelings about that because I put it in its proper perspective. This
Yeah.
is for vendors, for business people that sell products during this time, the Black Friday. They have a goal, but I don't have to participate to the level they want me to participate.
Hmm.
But what I love about it is an intentional pause to reconnect with family,
Hmm.
to really have, time
Hmm.
to disconnect from work, right?
Right.
So I really do like that. So those are my thoughts, and thank you for allowing me to share.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carla. Really appreciate it. Um, let's go. So, any of your thoughts about what Carla mentioned in terms of some of the things that she does to reduce stress?
and I said many of the things Carla does. It's good for your health. It's good for your stress levels as well, right?
Yeah.
I think we just need to reduce the stress on Christmas Day. And it's meant to be a day of celebrating the birth of birth of Jesus, right? I'm saying that's the whole idea.
Yeah. With
So
that.
I think we need to remember to just celebrate, to enjoy the day.
Yeah.
So many of the points in the videos, of course, help us. As I think not working, that's one thing that I used to do not so well for many years. But now I've learned, to this year I'm going to stop on the 20th. Because if you say you're going to stop on the 24th, you tend to creep into Christmas Day. It always does, right?
Right.
And leave that phone alone. So I've got my phone on Christmas Day just to play my Christmas songs. There's a song my son and I just have fun. And I said, literally, we wake up, we dance to silly music, and we get to play our game and eat great food.
Yeah. How old is your son?
It's going on 17 now, so 16.
All right.
So we really have fun. And I said, that's all we do. People say we go over the top, but it's our one day, right?
Right.
So it's and 24 hours in a day. I don't do the candles thing. Of course, I don't do the candles. Well, my wife might do, but I don't know. I don't even notice. That's what she wants to do, right?
Now, do you do a Christmas tree in the UK?
Yeah. There's a Christmas tree in pretty much every room.
Yeah. Oh, in every room.
Yeah. No, it's different. No, so this year, my wife bought a woman Christmas tree. It's a mannequin Christmas tree. So last year was a ghostly Christmas tree, a white Christmas. So it's every night she does something different every year. So when the grandkids are here, of course you do all the presents thing first thing.
Sure.
Because I say my son's getting older, so he doesn't really want any gifts like that. Of course, my wife makes sure everyone's got gifts to open.
Yep.
But, I think by the time you get to our age,
yeah,
I think it's just the gifts don't matter really.
Yeah. Exactly.
My simple rule is if you want something, go and buy it.
Yeah.
Here's the money if you want the money really.
Yeah.
Go and buy it. Indulge yourself. Don't expect me to buy you something that you're not going to want anyway.
Yeah.
That's just silly. But there's a question in my mind, says Stanley. How do you spend your Christmas Day?
Well, family. That's the biggest thing. We're really excited about this Christmas because we'll have everybody together, and our newest grandchild, who will turn 1 year old on Friday, and she's out in LA. They'll be traveling from LA to Pennsylvania. I have children and grandchildren in Michigan. They'll be traveling here to Harrisburg in Central PA, and from New Jersey. So it'll be the first time that the others will see our new 1 year old grandchild in person. So it is that family get together element of it that appeals to me the most. Let's do this, Annie. I'm joined by PowerThinking app user Annie Osung from the UK. He is a marketing guru. In fact, if you're watching us on LinkedIn, on Twitch, on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, you'll see that he has a banner over his on the top of his picture frame there says "We make you famous," and he's really helped a number of people to get exposure on LinkedIn, and then they move on to other platforms, and it's just great. So before I go to Leslie, let me just acknowledge Layla Llewellyn, who is on with us. We on LinkedIn and communicating. Hello, everyone, which is I think it's Emlyn Du from South Africa. Of course, Leslie from North Carolina. We have Ashif, who is joining us from Toronto, Canada. And cut out. Let's go to Leslie's show on Monday. Leslie, thank you for joining us. and your thoughts about reducing stress for the holidays. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, you were great. It was great having you on Monday, and we were talking about thinking traps and beware of the thinking traps around the holidays. I'm calling from Raleigh, North Carolina, USA, this morning, and after our conversation about jumping to conclusions,
Yes.
Stanley, I realize what I'm going to do this year. Now, I'm not going to take on all 10 things because my experience with trying to do 10 things or trying to do this, that, and the other doesn't work for me. So I'm going to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
And what I got from our talk on Monday was that I already know the way I have a certain expectation already of my different family members that are coming to me Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are any, let's just say, quirks or any contentions or anything like that, to make myself aware of them before people arrive,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can intentionally be objective and not insist or expect them to behave the way they always have, but rather see if they don't show up new for me.
Mm.
So I think what we discovered was that these patterns of behavior amongst siblings and family are pretty deep rooted. So when we get together like this, it's pretty easy to get triggered or upset, kind of like when we were kids, you know? Right. So because we expect them to always be the way they always were.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is, before everybody comes, I'm going to think of each person, think of their face and how much I love them, and look for anything that might upset them. I remember one year, my second granddaughter, when we went around the table being grateful, right? We each held hands and we said what we were grateful. She began to cry. She has a very tender heart, and listening to all of us talk about one another really got her going, right? She's so sensitive. So just to be aware
Mm-hmm.
of how I relate to them and they relate to one another,
Mm-hmm.
will take away any anxiety around relationships. I can't tell you about the crown rib roast coming out of the oven if it's going to be too rare or too well done.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, take care of that anxiety, but I can make sure that everybody has the best time.
Yeah.
And that's my intention.
That's fantastic. Leslie, thank you very much. And thanks for that opportunity the other day as we went deep. And if you can go to Leslie Flowers' page and find that. And we actually had an experience where there was, the thinking traps and emotions and so forth. And, we reached out and got all of that squared away. So you may want to go back in Leslie's page. It's happened on Monday. And check that out. I think you'll get a lot out of it because we were talking about a real situation and how thinking traps can enter in and how you can get over these kinds of things very, very quickly. Eddie, your thoughts?
I think the big word that Dr. Leslie mentioned is expectations. We're good at having expectations around everything, around the food, around what other people would do.
Mm-hmm.
I say, the biggest way to reduce the stress that comes from that is simply just be you, be a happy you. Maybe be a goofy you for a day.
Mm-hmm.
It is one day. I keep saying this. This is true. This is the way I think it has to be, right? If someone behaves badly, let it go. It's fine. It's not going to kill you, right? You can afford to let it go. Deal with it on Boxing Day. Deal with it next week. Deal with it, the week after, right?
Right.
And on the expectation side, just aim to have fun.
Aim to have fun.
Aim to have, eat well, have fun.
Right.
And maybe have a nap halfway through the day. That tends to make people feel a bit better, right?
Right.
So,
Sure.
I think we need to lower those expectations that people are going to spend big, people are going to behave badly, you know, because people, I agree, people have behavioral patterns, you know,
Yes.
but let's, you know, let's not expect the worst. Let's not expect, you know, the greatest day ever. It's a day. It's a day. Enjoy the family that's around you, you know, and do your bit to add positivity, as the video said. You know, no, don't bring negativity to the day. You know, bring positivity. Bring some happiness.
Yeah.
You know,
Great. Great. Great.
a friend of mine, Paulette, says play games. I mean, that's a good strategy. You know, now play silly. You know, there's card games, puzzle. You know, puzzle games. I mean, say one I like the sound of. Paulette has a puzzle out. You know, puzzle with different pieces.
Mhm.
And as you walk past the puzzle, you have to put a few pieces on. You know, so that's it breaks up the day, right?
Sure.
You know, and it stops people being bored and having nothing to do but to work up a stressful issue. You know, just enjoy the day.
Yeah. I'll have to have my daughter bring this game. She did a couple of years ago, and it was a really cool game, and everyone really got into it. We had a lot of fun. Um, and it was kind of dealing with cultural cues, and but very very fun, and everyone was really active in it. So that's a great one. Let me acknowledge David. Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel Cunningham from Dallas. So we got a number of folks who are joining us from all parts of the USA, all parts of the world. Zar, who's joining us from Pakistan, pretty sure. So Zara, good to see you as well. I mentioned Dallas. I mentioned Chicago. I think it was John Warner from Chicago. We have Tobaloba from Nigeria as well. So we have Annie from the UK. We have Olu from Nigeria. Tobaloba's from Nigeria. Good to see you as well. And we always say Olu, but if we pronounce the entire name, how would you pronounce it, Annie?
Oluwaseyi.
There it is. I was talking to Olu yesterday. I said, give me the whole name because, we're shortchanging you. Olu Washe. So hope I did okay on that, Olu. So great to see you all from all parts of the country, all parts of the world. Lisa Feverick. Lisa, great to see you as well. And we have so many others that we won't be able to acknowledge on LinkedIn. Thank you all so much for joining us. So as we wrap up, remember there were, and I hope I captured everybody on LinkedIn, there were 10 things that were mentioned in the video that we shared with you. Power Thinking members get the video via email or the app. The app is the best place, folks, because you're going to get a number of notifications to keep you positive during the course of the day, information to reinforce the skills and the strengths that we talk about as it relates to resilience. And in 2026, there's going to be more emphasis on financials. As I mentioned, I was at an event for an organization I'm part of, the Delaware Valley Association of Black Psychologists. We had a 50-year anniversary in Chester, PA, on Saturday. And I met the mayor of Chester. And as I mentioned earlier, the first thing he said to me is, he said, Stanley Green used to be on the radio. And I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, you did you shared financial advice. And I said, yeah. And it dawned on me. And I mentioned to him, I said, Mayor, I stopped doing that because I had moved on to run other people's companies and turn them around and so forth. So I couldn't do it all. So I needed to focus. And I handed some of that off to other financial folks. I said, that was 33 years ago. And it dawned on me that, and George Clark, you're on the phone line. I did something for his group, his staff, for the nonprofit Jevs, about a year and a half ago. And I'll never forget a woman that came up to ask a question. And she didn't ask a question. She just said, well, Stanley Green, thank you very much for all that financial information you provided, because with that, I was able to send 2 daughters to college. And these are the kinds of things that blow me away. So we are going to add a heavy dose of what I used to call financial success to what we are doing on the app. And for those of you who are referring people, that feature is back up and running. We're they can now just update the app in the App Store, and you can send the link to folks on iPhones, the invite code that you send them that will link it to you so that you get paid. That will be automatically populated, but we will also have the code so that they can copy and paste it if it's not there. So you need more information about that, feel free to contact me. Any closing remarks as we wrap up?
For sure, look, thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. Some may call me the Grinch on Christmas, but I'm not. I just have a great day on Christmas, and I wish you all a happy Christmas. And that's all we have to do. Be happy. If you, as much as you can plan in advance, plan in advance. Plan the food, plan the drink, plan who's going to be there. And then just let the day be. Enjoy the day.
Yes.
Whatever you say. I say at our age, Stanley, I say we haven't got time to be worrying about other people's problems on Christmas Day, right? No, all we have to do is enjoy our day. And if you work on that, if everyone works and just enjoying their day, coming out of it with a smile, then everyone wins, right? Everything else is not important. The present's not important. The food, we're gonna get some. That's what we care about, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy the day. Enjoy the day as much as you can. That's what
I appreciate that. Now, you know what? Hang in there with me, Andy, because we have two people on, and I want to go to them. And so, folks, for those of you who have to leave, thank you very much for joining us. And remember, since we spend all of our time thinking these 50,000 thoughts a day, we must think with power and utilize power thinking. So we do have Olu from Nigeria. We have Caroline, who joins as well. And so I do want to take those. So we'll just go a couple of minutes over. And so Olu and Caroline, please be brief. We'll start with, let's see who's up first. Caroline, Zaru, thank you for joining us. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts about reducing stress during the holidays. Welcome.
Good morning, Stanley and PowerThinking family. And great to see you, Annie. Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, Stanley. I just wanted to say early Merry Christmas and God blessings for Happy New Year, everybody. And the video was great. Everything she said was absolutely right on point. And I think I do some of them for sure, many of them. But I will certainly make sure I add. And actually, I already spread the message to the rest of my family. And, Annie said, as you both said, don't say that day to have problems. We have, and also as Leslie said, there's some people who just, oil and water sometimes, but you know what? I'm in the camp of just being, happy and just being grateful. It's all about being grateful. And like you said as well, Stanley, being with family, it's a wonderful time. I go to my family's house, my parents, they're both in heaven right now, but it's like the best place to be, and the whole family gathers there. And it's a wonderful time for us. Unfortunately, my brother passed on Christmas, Eve, that night. Yeah. So it's always like a little bit of a somber moment for my niece and nephew. But we always think about him. He was a big joke teller, and just what a wonderful guy he was. So we always try to, keep his memory alive and talk about some of the funny things that he does, and just his wonderful way. Everyone loved him. Everyone wanted to be around him. He was a musician, and he was just like the guy that you wanted to talk to, and just have those positive feelings. So we try to do that, but really, as you said, all of you, it's just about being grateful. You know what? We're here another day. The things that you say, what are you grateful for? Every single day, I'm like, thank you for keeping me alive another day. Yes. Because life is just so damn short, and so really just being grateful, and in the end, I count my blessings, not my worries. Yes. So thank you for letting me share.
There it is, really simple. Thank you, Caroline. Count the blessings and not the worries. And we'll go quickly to Olu Washe. Olu, thank you for joining us. Oh, I'm sorry, Olu. You come right back. Just hit that button again. There you are. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts about reducing stress for the holidays. Welcome.
Hi, Stanley. Hi, everyone. Eddie, good to see you.
Right,
Everything's
my friend.
wonderful as usual. The thing is that I think the issue about how to deal with stress, sank in at a point in my life when I paid attention to the saying that by allowing ourselves to worry, become anxious, and get stressed, the actual problem doesn't get solved.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's wasted energy. Why am I going to worry about something and then go through, that suffering of allowing my mind to run amok, coming up with various scenarios that in actual sense, in my life experience, I realized that 99%, even 100% sometimes of all those scenarios that I came up with or that came into my mind never took place. So it's like suffering twice.
Hmm.
So why don't I just hold on and wait for whatever actually happens? So that is the approach. At the point in time when things were quite difficult for us at home, this is what I share with my kids.
Hmm.
Nobody will die. Whatever is not going to kill anyone, we don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's the way, and it became a part of us. I mean, stress is not going to change anything. Allowing ourselves to get worked up, it's not going to change anything. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you, Lou. Really appreciate you. And Annie, thank you again for being with us. We're going to go into wrapping up on the conference line. And I want to thank you all for hanging. Most of you hung in there with us in overtime. So who didn't I mention? Mary Bell. Make it a great day, everybody. Have a great one. We hope to see you this evening. Annie will be joining us again. Great, James. Good to see you. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
All right, Annie, and thank you so much, sir. And I know you got to get moving and other events that you got planned. This was great. You'll join us again.
Yes.
All right.
I'll be there tonight.
All right. It'll be early morning for you on Thursday, and appreciate you and all the folks who have commented on LinkedIn. Appreciate you as well. The folks who have joined us on Twitch, on Facebook, on X, on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. We thank you. Take care, everyone.